what is the best possible Pokemon investment that you could have made over the past year? Let's play a game real quick. Before we dive too far into this, go down and leave a comment. Let me know what you think the best sealed investment was and the best single investment. I'm not talking PSA 10s. We'll just do raws for the example of this video. Now, obviously, on screen we have the Pokemon Center ETB 151. Pretty big deal, right? This was the year of the PC ETB, I would say. And that's not really a big of a surprise. But I will give you guys a little bit of a spoiler, as this is not the best sealed investment. However, when I was putting this list together, this was the first thing I went to. It's the first thing I wanted to pull up. So we're just going to pretty much be looking at 1 year charts. A year ago, you could have had this for $93, and now they got marketed at $282. Some of the most recent sales are getting pretty wild. There's some $300 sales on the Pokemon Center ETB. So 151 really leading the way as definitely one of the best investments. I mean, there's going to be stuff that eclipses this by a little, but you cannot deny that 151 may be the best overall product, because it's not just the PC ETBs. Also, if these prices continue, this chart would be updated, and this might actually take the top cake. But as of now, we're just like 2 days away from the end of the year as of this recording, so it could technically change within the last 2 days, but we got to give it that time, and I'm dealing with right now. So UPCs, also, if that came to your mind, another super solid investment, 141% growth in the past year. You could have got these for 102 up to 247, and as you guys can see, these are continuing to climb. We are at the all-time high for a lot of these products, most of the products on this list. And if you look here, these ones pretty solid. It doesn't look like these are going to continue to increase in the next few days. Like 248, pretty solid sales. 248, 245, 249 on the UPCs. Also, I always like to remind people, these were available at like Costco's and everywhere for like $80 or $90 for a long time. I mean, these were barely above that price, but you could have picked these up very cheap for a long time. And it's the human nature side of, oh, they're readily available. They're readily available. You don't want them until they're scarce and going up in price. And I'm guilty of that as well. Booster bundle displays. I wanted to bring this one up just because I thought about it. I like the booster bundle displays. They're actually coming down a little right now, just a little, off of $669. Could have got these as low as $350, but not even anywhere close near the best investment. Only up 48%. Just talking about a few products, right? We're gonna get into the better products coming up in a second. Also, real quick, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, we are less than 500 subscribers away from 10K, and you can go to this video. I'll also link it at the end. We're going to do a giveaway, Japanese 151 booster box, a Surging Sparks booster box, PSA 10, and some sleeve boosters. So we're going to have some winners. We'll do a random comment picker. So you must be subscribed, watch the video, like, and leave a comment, and we'll do a comment picker. So I just want to give you guys a chance to win in that giveaway. But let's get back to the video. Then you go, okay, Evolving Skies has been absolutely killing it. Definitely at all-time highs on the booster box. Where are we at? Well, still, I mean, insane investment, 123% growth. A year ago, you could have picked this up for $436. And now we are creeping up to pretty much a 1K box, honestly. Like some of these last solds, 1K, 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 1K. 999, 999, so we're going to call these 1K. And there's an 1100 sale down here as well, and then another 1K, essentially. So going from 430 to 1K in the period of a year is insane, and it shows the strength of this market. Also, not as good of gains, but in here, it was 700 from March to September. So you had a big time to buy there. So a lot of people were probably scared. I mean, I get it. It's a big investment for some people. So, but this was available. This box is going to continue to run. I'm not saying, I don't know how quickly, but maybe we might see team up levels on this box in the future. Kind of feels like it's just a matter of time, especially if this bull market continues to have this strength moving forward, which it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Now, the PC ETB, or not PC, this is the PC ETB, sorry. PC ETBs. it's not as good. It's not anywhere near as good as the booster box for Evolving Skies. So if this was on your bingo card for possible best investment, no, it didn't do any. It didn't do it. 38% growth is super solid for an investment over a 1 year period, but a low of well, we'll go for a full year ago, like 198 to 2, like solid gains. Most recent sales actually a lot higher, so if this chart updates, this would look a lot better. Pretty much 400 last solds, so maybe if this one updates, there's not that many available, but booster box dominating this space, 123%. What about the Moonbryon for singles, right? Insane growth dollar wise, probably. That's going to be the big dog from 500 to about 1400. Most recent sale actually. There's a 2K sale. I don't know what this is. This must have been a PSA 10. 1500. So there's a few 1500 sales on here. So 500 to 1500. That's definitely going to win dollar wise, but percentage wise, actually not the best investment for singles that you could have made in the last year. But this had it's kind of wild just to see this chart, and it's going to be interesting to see like where this ends up. But the blip on the radar, the alt art boom that people were kind of worried about crashing down, when it ran up to about 1,000, came back down to 800, and then it said, bye-bye, I'm getting my rocket ship and I'm taking off. So the Moonbryon, super solid investment, could not have gone wrong with it. It's wild. It's wild out there with the Moonbryon. Things are getting crazy. But yeah, so Evolving Skies, not the best investment you could have made overall. I'm talking percentage-wise. We'll dive into it, like all of it at the end, but just know that technically, not the best investment you could have made. However, possibly one of the safest. I would say Evolving Skies is as safe as could be, especially sealed, more sealed on that side. What about the Greninja? The Greninja popped off, 101% growth in the past one. Well, this is less than a year. This card caught everybody by storm, and I say that Twilight Masquerade started the SV era, popped this era off. Absolutely started the SV era being taken seriously for booster box prices and singles, special illustration rares specifically. I mean, 101% growth in less than a year. We're talking half a year, just a little over half a year, from May to now. And it's coming off of its all-time high, 333. It's come down just a little. Most recent sales, 320. I mean, pretty accurate. 320, 3 teens kind of is what we're seeing on the Greninja. But if you're newer to the hobby, like when this kind of started happening, booster boxes for the era, it was wait, and you can get them at $80, $90 all day long. Just wait and let them crash, essentially, off of release and pick them up cheap. After this set, that changed everything for singles and sealed. So yeah, the Twilight did it, and then you go, oh, the booster boxes did really good. How did they? I mean, you got to understand though, this is also going off of a high pre-release price high on this chart, so it's only up 20%. A better indicator is the 6-month chart, up 35%. And still, it's only 35%. So if you were to grab this true number, it's still pretty good, from 100 to where we're at now, like 158. Nowhere near close. Pretty good, decent gains though. Like, I mean, nothing to get pissed off about. This is good gains, but it doesn't come anywhere close. If you had Twilight Masquerade, it is not it. Paldea Evolved. We talked about some of these PC ETBs recently. This one's kind of popping off right now, so it's a good time to take a look at it. This has the Pikachu with the starters. Really nice card. 129% growth in the past year, from 80 up to about 184. 129%, still not going to do it. That is not the best sealed investment. However, you can pretty much say PC ETBs across the board for the best product, I think most definitely. We'll talk about that too. We'll dive into that a little bit more. What about Surging Sparks? Surging Sparks doing really well. This chart, if you look at it, once again, if you're trying to not go off of the pre-release prices, the high of 150, which is still up 45% off of that, 82%. This is probably one of the greatest quick flips definitely of the SV era of recent times. So that's nice to see. You have like 215, 216 a box currently. A lot of people, some of these prices, like I was able to secure my pre-orders at 100 per box, so definitely a little bit better gains, over doubling on the Surging Sparks booster box. Not the best long term, but definitely one of the best, most expensive current SV booster box of the era. So that's hands down undeniable, and it happened in a short period of time. A lot of people locking in some gains. There's nothing wrong with gains. Also, just my viewpoint. If you're selling some Surging Sparks, like I am not throwing you any shade for Surging Sparks right now. Okay, that's if you need to sell some of your position, say they doubled, well, depending on your entry point, lock in some profits. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. This set, if there's a few sets primed for a reprint, I mean, we got the Blooming Waters coming for 151, so I don't know about that. But Surging Sparks definitely primed for a 2025 reprint at some point. That doesn't guarantee anything, but it's just something to consider. So lock in some profits while you can. I understand that. Go back to the singles just for a second. What about the Bubble Mew? The Bubble Mew's doing real good, 210%. That's and it was doing even better. It came off. It was up 259% at one point, which I have to double check the numbers, but might have landed it at this top spot for the year. And we are looking at the 6-month chart here, because the 1 year doesn't make it look quite as good because these pre-release prices were actually a little bit higher. So you could have picked this up, for as low as $75 for the Bubble Mew. The Bubble Mew going absolutely crazy. Paldean Fates doing well. Sealed wise as well. The Charizard from that set also doing well. 210% though. So very, very solid. Some of these cards, like, man, they popped the 151 Charizard. Not as good. Not on this list for that reason. However, still another example of another great card. Just didn't have quite the numbers to make it onto this list. So the Bubble Mew, 210%. Very solid. Looks like it's stabilizing around 260. Had to come down off this high. This is what happens when a card runs. Too much growth too fast. It has to cool off at least a little bit. People, not everyone follows the market like super close, and then they go, oh shoot, I have that card. It's $300, and then they go, oh well, I want to sell it. Oh, I'll just sell it for 280 or whatever, and then the prices fall a little. But this is nice to see that it's settling around 260. Then we got the Groudon from Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift, underrated set for sure. Now, this card, you could have had this in the 20s, and in the low of 22. Ran up during the little boom to 60, came back down to 50, and now it's just coming off of this 1 year high of 70. So it's around $65. 146% growth on the Groudon. We're also seeing the dominance of illustration rares. Now, there is SIRs obviously on the list, but illustration rares are seeing pretty massive gains across the board recently. There's a few more at the end of the list that you're going to want to keep an eye on. So, Groudon doing well. Not absolutely stunning card, by the way. Underrated set. Paradox is underrated, very deep illustration rare set. I like it a lot. But not the best investment for singles on this list. We talked about Team Up earlier. We'll just take a look at it. Team Up, super solid investment. One of those ones that is definitely as safe. It goes with your Evolving Skies, your Team Up, maybe your XY Evolutions. You got that best box from each era. And in this case, it is Team Up. 43% growth. From a year ago, it was just under $2,000, like the low right here. And yeah, most recent sales actually would be a little different if this sale updated, this chart updated, because these sales just happened this morning. I'm recording in the morning on the 29th. 4K sale on TCG. So that would change this chart quite a bit, but we're seeing 43%. I don't think it would change it to win this list, but very solid growth on the Team Up booster box. That's 4K sale. Congrats. I am at the point in my investing journey where I'm not in the 2K boxes plus. That is not me. I like cheaper boxes, let them double or triple, quadruple in value. But maybe someday as things progress, I'd like to move up, maybe offload some of those profits that I have locked in right now, convert them into some of these higher end boxes. That is something that I really do want to do. But it's just a little bit too much for me currently. But as things continue to grow, that's definitely on my list. What about the Lovebirds card from Team Up? 41%. Super solid, actually. Low of 720 of the low, or 748 exactly a year ago. And it's kind of leveled out around 1,000. Only 3 copies on TCG. It's a nice looking card. Not the best card you could have invested in, but maybe it came into your mind as what the best investment for singles were. But yeah, 41.9%. Now, also, let me know if there is a card or box that I missed on this list. Let me know. Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments and let me know what you guys, what I missed. What was the better investment? Because I know this is a recent development. The Marl illustration rare leading the way as the best single investment. 317%. You could have had this card for $7 all day long. Now, hold on. Just don't attack me. Just let me explain just for a second. Okay. This card is selling. There's only 20 copies available on TCG, but this went from 7 to 34. And pretty consistent sales, maybe a little less at some, about 35, 32, 38, 32, 32, 33. So these are selling. These are all sales. This must be Japanese. As of today, these others all sold yesterday. These are all the 28th and the 27th. These are selling. Okay. So percentage wise, okay, I know. Who's going to buy 1,000 of these cards and then sell them all right now? I understand the logistics. I understand everything about it. I'm just saying, percentage wise, maybe the Marl was the best single investment that you could have made. We talked about this card like a long time ago. I want to say maybe when it was about in July when it blipped up to around 10. But anyways, I love this card, by the way. Artwork wise, a super adorable Pokemon. Great art. Nice to see it doing well. There's definitely still a lot of these undervalued IRs in the market. And it's hard to know, like, who would have thought Marl would have popped off 317%? Not me. Like, undervalued needed growth, yes. Like, there's a lot of those cards out there, but I would not have suspected this insane of growth like this quickly. It will be very interesting to see where it ends up long term. A lot of the times, like I said, when they run up, they retrace. They have to retrace a little. Setting higher lows, though, is really good. So that's something to look out for on the Marl. But yeah, 20 copies available from 7 sellers. So that is interesting on here. If you want to pick one up, like, you're looking at 45, though, from a seller with good feedback. So that would be higher than this, and this would continue to be a massive investment on the Marl. So just wanted to throw that out there. There is a asterisk actual real winner coming up in a second, but I also wanted to talk about PSA 10s just for a second. I know I said we're not doing PSA 10s, but the Marl last sold on eBay. There's not that many copies. It's really tough to grade. 305. So you could take a card, say you even bought it at $30. You're 10xing your money. I know there's grading fees and then you have fees on eBay, but just for also down here, there was a 400 sale. So before that, I don't know who, somebody had this. This was not good. Somebody let these go for steals, 94 and 70. But before that, you're all seeing like 200, 300 sales. So congratulations to whoever purchased these. You got an absolute steal. But the possible real winner, you say, okay, I don't include the Marl, is your Carp, your boy Carpy. 215%. Let me just double check something real quick. Where did this Mew go? Yeah. Okay. So Mew was 210%. I just wanted to double check. The Magikarp from Paldea Evolved as possibly the best singled investment. Also, PSA 10 price is wild. Once again, I'm trying not to pull too many up in this video. 215% growth in the past year. A year ago, this was a $63 card. It ran up to $140. People said, "Oh no," and also, I mean, at the time it was kind of wild. The market was not as strong, and then it kind of came back down to 104, which was pretty much at this price before that little run up. I mean, it had a run up, stopped, run up, came back down, and now just pretty much being at $200. So these last solds 205, 205, 205, 205. There's a 220. Pretty solid sales. Like, it seems like this is probably going to hold for a while. 60 copies listed on TCG. If you want to pick one up from a good seller, you're looking at 200. So about market. So pretty accurate there. Let me know if did you have Magikarp on your bingo list, because one of the best single investments. I could have missed something on this list, but let's finish it off with the best sealed investment. What outperformed this box? So this is 203% growth on the 151 PC ETB. And it was Obsidian Flames with that Charmander. 228% growth. That's actually coming, it's a little higher right here. So if you give this a little bit more time and the low point becomes, or the back of the chart becomes 65, it would be a little bit better. 228% growth on the Obsidian Flames booster box. That is the best sealed investment for pretty much for Modern. I'm not tracking a ton of Vintage. It's kind of hard to track to get the prices on that, but for Modern, this is the best. This is the best sealed investment that you could have made between the Charmander, the Magikarp. If you would have invested heavily in those, you'd be up absolutely massive. There was a lot of great honorable mentions on this on this list. Great investments. Overall, obviously the market's hot, so that does play a factor. PC ETBs moving forward, we're going to see crazy things from Prismatic Evolutions to start the year. I think 2025 is going to be even crazier. I got to go. My dog is scratching the door. He has to go potty. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember, enter the giveaway. Should be somewhere up here. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.